various things I've seen suggest that the majority of people in the majority of Western countries are now worried, are skeptical.
Okay.
They might use it day to day and find it very valuable for specific things, but they are worried about the impact of this on society. There's been a lot of reports about possible, massive job losses, and they're worried about that. If you go even beyond that, there's people concerned about catastrophic risk one day, and maybe not even that far away, of these models getting out of control or getting so smart that they're able to create new pathogens or whatever. Some people, I don't know if you saw recently, Anthropic had built a new model called Mythos and decided it was so powerful that it had identified multiple cybersecurity flaws in almost every web browser. And if it was released to the public, it could cause vast damage to our internet systems and everyone's security. And so they haven't released it.
Okay. Wow.
But you're relying on the goodwill of a CEO to make that call. Yeah. Who knows whether that will be the same decision in 6 months by a different company. Okay. So there's been more and more quite worrying stories about the long, medium-term future. And that's on top of kids using it when they shouldn't and getting addicted to bots, companions and stuff like that. So the mood, I think, is starting to turn quite pessimistic overall, or there's always people that are still positive about it. And probably on the whole, it's the job thing that I think gets people most worried.
Yeah.
I'll be replaced.
Yeah.
I'm being forced to learn this, but one day I can see that my job won't be necessary anymore. What am I going to do? What jobs are going to be available? Can I retrain?
Yeah. And I found this chart thing, I don't know what you call it, from Anthropic that we can pop on the screen about the industries that are already being affected, but ones that potentially could be affected. Ones that come up really high: business, finance, computers, maths, architecture, engineering, management.
Coding.
Yeah. Office admin was another.
A lot of cognitive, they call it cognitive rote labour, often like quasi-repetitive work that requires cognitive skills or logical skills.
Yeah.
The sort of mental equivalent of the Industrial Revolution.
Yes, yeah. And do you and so the ones that were less affected, hopefully, maybe agriculture. My dad used to be a farmer, so he's going to be like, yes. Food and serving, that was my first job. Sales, less so. Personal care, grounds maintenance. So it's kind of like physical jobs, which is really flipping everything on its head from the last few years.
Yeah, plumbing, nursing.
Care.
Yeah.
Would you say that's like an accurate representation of where you see things heading? Or do you think actually there's going to be like a bit of a revolt against it and be like, actually, we don't want AI to take this job or that job? Or is that even a possibility?
Oh, yeah. Look, I'm going to level with you. A lot of people make predictions about this stuff confidently.
Yeah.
I'm hesitant to. I feel like I don't really know. There's been predictions about certain jobs disappearing because of machines for a long time, and then somehow it doesn't quite happen as well. Like you assume that lawyers will no longer be necessary because a machine will be able to access every single piece of case law ever produced at the speed of light and come up with arguments better than a human. So there'll be no lawyers in 10 years' time. It's obviously not going to happen because there's more to value of work than just the ability to do certain tasks quickly. So I think things are probably going to be a bit more unpredictable than we think. And some of that might come from a revolt against this, an effort to regulate it more, to slow it down more. There does seem to be a pattern emerging. The one thing that I think you can say with some degree of confidence is it's not necessarily just the task, but it's the level of seniority. So early stage career, computer programmers or software engineers, administrative tasks like some of the ones that you mentioned, clerical work, which are often the first jobs that people come into when they graduate. It seems to be that hiring is slowing down in those areas because bosses are saying, well, we I mean, actually, a machine can do a lot of that early work that the early career professionals do, especially in programming, just as good, if not better. Can't do it better than a late career or mid-career person, but they can do it better than an early career person. So we don't need to hire these early career people. The problem, obviously, is you don't just hire early career people for the work. They become part of a team. They become mid-career people at some point. They develop the skills required to be senior. So if you cut out the bottom rung, in 10 years' time, there'll be no senior people left either to do the work and the interpersonal work that's always required in offices. So I am worried about that, but that does seem to be the pattern that's emerging and why we have quite high youth unemployment at the moment.